Eliza Primary School would like to pay their respects to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their elders, past and present. With a single word, we can connect. Wominjeka. Welcome to Eliza Primary School's Humanities Open Night. We are the Grade 3-4 teaching staff and we'll be discussing the importance of teaching Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history, culture and beliefs. Here at Eliza Primary School, we strive to create an all-inclusive, positive learning environment where all students feel supported and respected. There are many domains within the Humanities program. This includes history, geography, politics and economics. Through these domains, students will learn about identity, cultural diversity and relationships between cultures. History will inform students about how Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders are Australia's first people, as well as the events and impacts surrounding colonisation and other changes over time. Geography will discuss Indigenous Australians' spiritual and physical connection to country and place, as well as the many diverse Indigenous Australian cultures and languages across all of Australia. We will also delve into some of the social, political and economic conditions surrounding these cultures. Students will begin to critically think, question and problem solve cultural issues. Through learning about these cultures, we aim to develop and foster positive qualities in our students, such as compassion, empathy, a sense of morality, justice and a desire for equality.
The Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership contends there are two standards which teachers must adhere by in their teaching practices. Standard 1.4 outlines the strategies for teaching Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, and Standard 2.4 is how to understand, respect and reconcile Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander individuals with non-Indigenous Australians. At Eliza Primary School, we use these standards to create positive and inclusive relationships with Aboriginal students and their families in our school. The Melbourne Declaration identifies 3 cross-curriculum priorities which teachers need to include in students' learning. These are Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures, Australia's engagement with Asia, and sustainability. Our school acknowledges Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and culture in our curriculum because it allows our students to gain a deeper appreciation and understanding for Aboriginal culture and traditions in a holistic worldview. Our school values are based on the 3 R's: respect, reconciliation, and relationships, which we incorporate within our curriculum. We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures by respecting the traditional landowners of Victoria and commemorating National Sorry Day. We aim to reconcile with the Indigenous population by acknowledging that Aboriginality is the oldest language in Australia and promoting equality and unity of all cultural backgrounds at our school. We intend to form relationships with Aboriginal communities by visiting places such as Bunjalaka at the Melbourne Museum and teaching our students to greet our teachers each morning with Wominjeka. Our school plans on engaging students in Indigenous histories and cultures by recognising National Sorry Day. As a whole school, we acknowledge Aboriginal pastimes by presenting students with educational literature on the stolen generation. Students in Year 3 will read texts such as Stories for Simon, which will educate them about Aboriginal history.
Here at Eliza Primary School, the teachers pride themselves on teaching students in new and innovative ways, all in which attract students to want to learn about the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives that the teachers are teaching. The Grade 3 and 4 teachers work collaboratively each week to plan lessons which will engage students and encourage hand-on learning opportunities. As a school, we pride ourselves on giving our students the best opportunities for rich learning, and this is implemented through place-based learning, which means teachers take students on many excursions throughout the year to historically significant destinations such as the Bunjalaka exhibition at Melbourne Museum, the Shrine of Remembrance, the local cultural centres, and the Footscray War Memorial. These excursions provide students the opportunity to have real-life links to their community, local cultures, and the history of the country they live in. Place-based learning can get students more interactive and attentive. These place-based learning opportunities facilitate the additional understanding of Grade 3 and 4 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives. Eliza Primary School pride themselves on implementing world-renowned learning theories into our classrooms. Lev Vygotsky, a famous educational theorist, emphasises the importance of social learning, which is the process of allowing students to work in collaboration with one another to further understand the integration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives across the humanities curriculum. At Eliza Primary School, students are not encouraged to replicate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives. Rather, we encourage our students to understand the history and then create meaningful individual links to the content. We promise to teach your children in ways that get their mind ticking and their heart beating.
At Elsa Primary, we have based our unit of work on standards 1.4 and 2.4 by including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures as our main cross-curriculum study. The Australian curriculum for Level 3 Humanities contends students are provided with the opportunity to learn about diversity within their community, including the country place of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We have acknowledged Aboriginal students by recognising culture, place and identity. We aim to reconcile the new student population with Indigenous Australians by enhancing our students' understanding that Aboriginality is the oldest culture in Melbourne. In Week 1, students are taken to Bunjalaga, where they are presented with the opportunity to engage in Aboriginal histories by examining artefacts such as boomerangs, possum skins, and historical documents. Students are encouraged to interact with hands-on activities such as listening to different Aboriginal groups speak and watching a performance by Bunjil the Eagle to understand spirituality. In the classroom, students compare and contrast the lifestyles of Aboriginals pre- and post-colonisation and get to create their own boomerangs. In Week 2, students study the 1967 referendum, where in groups they use strands of English and art to create their own rules for the school. Week 3 sees students learning how to analyse a traditional Aboriginal shield from Bunjalaga, then using art supplies to create their own family shields. In Week 4, students examine some of the clans that inhabited Victoria using speaking and listening skills to pronounce each name. Working in groups, students are to research and create a poster on a famous Aboriginal person, which will be hung in the classroom. To conclude the unit, students learn about Bunjil the Eagle through a storybook where they are to create their own spiritual eagle and give it a traditional Aboriginal name. Teachers need to recognise Aboriginal culture and identities in students' learning to make learning meaningful.
Students' work and level understanding will be assessed through the KWL chart. KWL charts are graphic organisers that help students organise information before, during and after a unit or a lesson. They can be used to engage students in a new topic, activate prior knowledge, share unit objectives, and monitor students' learning. Also, informal conversations between the student and classroom discussions are great techniques to assess students in their knowledge and to see how much they have progressed. Students' work will be celebrated, however big or small, by using positive reinforcement. Each student will be praised on what they have accomplished in the lesson or on the progress they are making. Positive reinforcement is encouragement that follows good behaviour. It is done in order to emphasise the positivity of the action, and as a consequence, the person, being the student, feels encouraged to repeat the positive action that earned the praise in the first place. Also, students' work will be celebrated by allowing the students to present and discuss the work to the whole class. This will be done at the end of the lesson, as it will also contribute as a form of assessment. Students will also have the chance to showcase their work during assembly. In the presentations, students may discuss what they have created, what they have learnt from the lesson, what they enjoyed, and what was challenging. Students will also have work displayed in the classroom and around the school. By having students create the displays or showcasing student work, you show that you value student work and that the classroom really belongs to the students. Students have a chance to learn from and celebrate each other's work, as they demonstrate connections to the current content or the processes they are learning. The purpose of student displays is to reinforce students' efforts and creativity.